Humans, what have you learned?
Starting on this liter bike, for me, was the right choice. For everybody else, or other people, not everybody else, but for other people that might not be the right. So look, I bet she slows down now because we're in the canopy. That would confirm my suspicions that she's not confident in the canopy. 125. No, she's alright. It's fine. But the content that I've seen online when I was doing my research about buying a liter bike as my first bike, the content is so heavily American. There is some British people out there that talk about it, and they do touch on some of the important points, but I think it all completely depends on so many factors, and you've got to, as a new rider and a potential rider going forward, go through those key facts, those key points, and see whether you meet the criteria to sensibly be able to buy a liter bike. So first and foremost is the big thing that not a lot of people talk about is the training. So in America, the training is so minimal that you need to be able to get and ride a liter bike. Getting an endorsement is as simple as going down to the DVLA. What do they call it? Is it they called the DVLA? No, they're called the DVA. And you get your endorsement and you can go buy a liter bike and ride around for a certain amount of time. You could then go and do the MSF course, which is, I believe it's 2 days. I think it's 2 days. It might even be one, I'm not 100%. But I think it's 2 days, you do the MSF course, and then you are fully allowed to ride any motorbike you want, at any age. Well, not any age, I think it's from like, it's got to be from like 18, surely. But America do things differently, don't they? But I know that that's the requirements, the only requirements there. Whereas in England, we have a tier system for our licenses. You can't just go and get a full bike license at 17 years old. No. You are severely restricted. So the very specific details, I'll put it on screen, of the criteria now. But it goes something along the lines of, and I know I'm going to get it wrong, but something along the lines of 16 you can get a 50cc moped after doing your CBT 1 day course, which is very, very low power moped. Can't really do much on that. Then you can get your A1 license, which is a restricted license for a certain amount of time. I'm not sure, again, look on screen. And I'll put a link to the guidance below. Then you can get your A2 license at a certain age and certain criteria met. And then when you turn 24, you've got to be 24 years old, or have had an A2 license for longer than 2 years, or for 2 years. Once you've got that, it's like a passing point. Crazy, huh? Once you've done that, you can then go for your A license, and it's not an easy test. Your test consists of Module 1 and Module 2. Module 1 is on what they call a pad, which is a massive parking lot, really, or car park if you're in England. Once you're on that pad, you've got to do a series of activities to show your control over the bike. Now those sorts of activities are slow speed, there's slow speed manoeuvring, stopping in a certain area, a really small area. What else is there? There's obstacle avoidance, there's the emergency stop, there's manually handling your bikes. There's lots that happen in that Mod 1 test. Once you've passed that, if you pass that, you can then move on to your Mod 2, which is your on the road portion of the test. Now that is an instructor behind you for, it was about an hour for me. Oh, it said unlocked, that's nice. Okay, lovely. Okay, it's still going to be turn by turn, we're happy. yeah, so you have an instructor behind you watching what you do, and you do things like follow the signs to somewhere, and you have to do like A38, and I'm staying this way. I think I figured out my gearing problem as well. You know how I was struggling to find third all the time? I think because my foot rests on the, when I've got my foot under the shifter, my foot's resting there, and it's not low enough to you know, realise that it's not connected, that it's not disconnected, sorry. So it's just like, it still thinks that the clutch is somewhat engaged, so I've got to like really remove my foot. So if I really remove my foot, it seems to work just fine. Is this right? Yeah! Look at me following a sat nav for the first time ever on this thing successfully. I think it's figured itself out, which is great. So all that training, I think, creates a safer, not safe, but a safer rider at the beginning. Now, to pass that test, I needed to do... let me get past this a little bit before I keep going, chatting about shit. We made it! Here we are on the Atlantic Highway. I've been on it for about a mile, got onto it, found a petrol station. Well, the wind slapped me there. Slapped me a bit. And yeah, we are here. Came away from the topic of riding 1000 cc's really quickly, but after the training that I had to go through to get my license, it was really intensive. Now I had to do a 5-day crash course, which was an all-day course from 8 in the morning to about 3 in the afternoon. Let's say all day, and day one was doing my CBT, which was on a 125, which was a lovely bike actually. It was the first time I ever ridden a bike ever, and you know, I did alright. I struggled a lot for a lot of things, but it was okay. But after it, I kind of realised that even those 5 days wasn't going to be enough for me to be competent enough to pass the test. So I then booked in to do two 2-hour lessons on a 125 again, just to get some time with my arse in a seat. I did that, went great. I had a good time doing that. The first day was really I was really wobbly, but the second day I did it, it was great. Then begin the now 4-day course, because one of the days was a CBT, where I started on a 390. A KTM Duke 390 for the first day, just to get used to a bit more power, and it was great. I had a great time on that. Then day 2 moved up to the KTM Duke 790 and did a whole day's worth of training. That's pad work, that's road work, that's loads of things. And I struggled a lot of the time with I don't know this road. I don't know if this is just a dual carriageway. was really nervous about moving up to the 790 because of the amount of power that I was jumping up to. But I've got to say, it felt great, you know. It really wasn't as intimidating as I thought it was going to be. And someone did tell me who was on the 790 already that it's not as intimidating as you think. So that was interesting to go on to that. And yeah, just a couple more days of training before I went and did my test on day 5. Day 5 was, you know, like an hour of ride and then straight onto the test. And it was not as stressful as I thought it was going to be. The test for me went great. I got 1 minor on the mod 1, which was, I went 29 instead of 30 on the obstacle avoidance. That's a minor. And then the next was the mod 2 test, and next was the mod 2 test, which I got 2 minors on. 1 for hesitation on a junction where I waited for way too long. There was a car way out in the distance and I waited for him to go. And actually the reason I did that wasn't because I was hesitating, because my arse was hurting and I wanted to stand up for a second, so I thought that was a good opportunity to. Apparently not. And the second one was a weird, it was one of those bits where the road narrows and goes to a give way to one side, and it was this woman's right of way, but she stopped and waved me through. And I got into my head and I got really confused, and I was like, but technically it's not my right of way, so I shouldn't go, but she's telling me to go, and me waiting here, does that make it unsafe? So should